So today's about adding and subtracting. It kind of gets left out here that we're talking about both of these two things. It's really just about knowing how to set up the problem. You should know the difference between how to add and subtract. But typically, like you can see on my label right here, I just talk about adding, but in reality, preparing for both is really what we're going for. I'm going to dive right into it. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is easy, but it's pretty straightforward what I have to go for. And I'm going to rely a lot on kind of the language that we used when we did our comparing decimal conversations. So, two things. Let's say I have a problem of 1.41 plus. Notice I tend to line mine up vertically so that it looks more like a traditional adding problem. The first option is to think about kind of place value. So think about how many ones do we have? Well, I've got one. How many tens do I have? Well, I've got seven. Tens would be the rods, the ones would be the whole thing. How many hundreds do I have altogether? Well, I've got one, just one of these little ones. And then just paying special attention to when you need to regroup. So like none of these got bigger than 10, but if I had, thinking of the last time we talked about minimal collections, if I had 15 tens, well, I would need one more whole, and then 5 in the hundreds place. I gotta admit, sometimes it's helpful to think of things this way, but in reality, that's not the most efficient method that I think you'll see me model and use a whole lot. So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. Essentially, thinking of, I'm going to use even the same problem. If I had 141 plus 3 tenths, 1 and 41 hundredths plus 3 tenths, is that idea of speaking the same language, of saying, oh, if I'm adding hundredths here, I want to make sure that I'm talking hundredths here, because then it really does look like 141 plus 30. And then we keep track of our decimal point, and things just sort of line up the way that they need to. You can shortcut this a little bit by, let's squeeze in one more problem. 1 and 79 hundredths plus 2 tenths. By just lining up the decimal and then just sort of leaving this nebulous blank here, knowing not even that it's a zero, that's not what I'm attempting to draw, just knowing that there's not any hundredths to be added. This is the part that we need to be paying attention to, is making sure that our place value are lined up correctly. This is going to be some attention to detail. Adding and subtracting decimals is very straightforward and very easy if you're paying attention to detail. So all of those squares on our quads, that's what they're for, is about lining things up. When we just start scribbling things off in 700 directions, this is where it starts to pay. All right, let's talk my two examples here. Again, I don't know how or why we wouldn't just rewrite these vertically, because that's how adding works for most problems, but you'll see them represented horizontally, especially a lot in this textbook, Bridges, our curriculum. So I want to just get us used to that idea of that we got to make that adjustment. I like the zero, so I'm going to add my 0 hundredths there so that I'm really talking about 314 hundredths. And that's how I would read that, right? 3 and 14 hundredths, but it's really just 314 hundredths plus 10 more hundredths. And again, I'm seeing that decimal place lined up right there. All right. Again, from here, dude, it's 4 plus 0 is 4. 1 plus 1 is 2. 3 plus the nothing that's there is 3. You'll note that I made a point of adding the zeros before the decimal point. I'm old-fashioned, and so I often forget those. That is a more modern thing. I did it right there, too. Sorry. You'll get used to it. I will try and do better. When I typed these up, I was very conscientious of that. But oftentimes, I just omit the zero. It is not essential to the problem, but it is a little older. This next one, they're both in thousands. So I have 453 thousandths 147 thousandths. I do have 0 ones for what it's worth. Oh my gosh, I have to pay attention to the fact that this is a subtraction problem. That's the only part that's challenging about subtracting decimals, is remembering to do it, remembering to look for it. So I'll switch colors here just for the sake of it. I'm going to need to borrow. I'm going to break apart one of those. Imagine one of the 10 rods becoming individuals and giving me 13 ones, so that I can then subtract 13 from 7. 4 minus 4 is 0. 4 tens minus 1 10 would leave me with 3 tens. Again, my decimal place nice and evenly lined up. And I'll put the 0 on here just to make it look good. That's it. Again, other than you'll see me always adding this 0 here, as long as you have the decimal places lined up, adding and subtracting decimals is essentially just like adding and subtracting. Look for that place value. Look for this. Am I lining things up the way that they need to be lined up? Once you've done that, this is a skill you've probably mastered already. And so on to the independent work. Problem number 1, 2 and 4 tenths minus 1 and 53 hundredths. Again, there's a workspace here for you guys. Problem number 2 is 79 hundredths plus 3 and 13 hundredths. Watch for carrying. And finally, 3 is 4 thousandths plus 6 and 83 hundredths. All right. After you've done those, if you'd like to take a look at some of the optional ones, I have multiples that we're adding, so multiple things that we're putting in here, and then the challenge is incorporating a few different things, some order of operation as well as some fractions to go along with our decimals. So stick around to the end of the video if you just want to see the answers to that.